My name is Tony Lennart, and today I'd like to talk about that extraordinary example of humanity called Mahatma Gandhi. As you know, it is his birthday today, and so we are paying tribute to this wonderful person. The difficulty, though, is that for many people, the tribute is in the sense of saying, oh yes, he was a wonderful person. But the real tribute to a saint is to follow his example, to follow her example. And Gandhi was such an amazing person who gave us such a wonderful example of living a full life, a life of contribution, a life of commitment, a life of devotion. He was someone who was totally committed to personal development, to spiritual development. He gave his all to be the best person he could be and to really help India enormously, as well as helping South Africa in the struggles for freedom, for dignity, for human rights, and particularly for the home rule of India. Not only did he play a major part in bringing about the home rule of India, but having convinced the English, the colonial masters, to give up the crown of their empire, he paved the way for Africa and all of the colonies around the world to actually turn the countries over to the natives, to the people who lived there, who were born there. And so to overcome colonialization throughout the world is certainly an extraordinary achievement. He also gave us a path of non-violent opposition. He was the mentor and the example to people like Nelson Mandela, to Martin Luther King, to the Dalai Lama, to many other Nobel Peace Prize winners, and indeed to so many people throughout the world. But if we merely put him on a pedestal and say, yes, yes, such a wonderful person, but we don't follow his teachings, if we don't learn from him, then our tribute is somehow limited. Gandhi was an extraordinary person. But if we see him as somehow being superhuman, then we miss many of his messages. We may not want to renounce money, as Gandhi renounced money. And yet if we learn from him about the benefits of simplicity, then no matter how rich we are, if we choose to lead a life of simplicity, we will find that life is a lot easier, it's a lot simpler, and a lot more enjoyable. We may not have such a great vision as Gandhi. We may not be seeking to create independence for a country. We might have smaller goals, like building a successful business. But if we have that same level of vision, looking at what we truly want to achieve and working towards something great, whether it's being a great mother, a great wife, a great husband, a great business person, or simply offering whatever product we offer and doing it from a place of service, so we're contributing, then we're learning from Gandhi and we're applying his lessons in our daily lives. Even if we don't seek to be as selfless as Gandhi, let our life have meaning. The research on happiness finds that one of the key contributors to happiness is the amount of meaning that we have in our life. And so if we make our life meaningful, by doing something that is somehow important to us, that's beneficial, that's helping people, that's achieving things that are better than they otherwise would have been, we will find that we have more meaning in our life, we have more happiness, our relationships will be better, and our work will be more fulfilling. We may even think that it's impossible to be an honest businessman. But imagine if your customers trusted you as much as Indians trusted Mahatma Gandhi. Imagine if potential business partners or investors trusted you to the degree that people trusted Gandhi. Imagine if your staff saw in you someone who they could really trust and get behind. How successful would your business be? I'm sure it would be incredibly successful. If you lie a little bit here and a little bit there, soon you have to make a habit of lying. But if you choose to be honest, maybe in the short term you lose, but in the longer term, you'll be far more successful than anyone else. And let us also learn other lessons from Gandhi. One of the things he taught us is conflict resolution. Whether you have conflict with your husband or your wife, or your children, or at business, in whatever field you have conflict, if you learn from Gandhi to put yourself in the shoes of another, to treat even your adversary with love, then you'll find that you will be as successful at overcoming conflict as Gandhi was. Let us learn from Gandhi in dealing with those who have more power than us. Maybe you are a diligent wife or mother and your husband has more power than you. Maybe you are a mid-level manager and others have more power than you. Or you might even be one of the owners of a business, but with less power than other people. We can learn from Gandhi, for he dealt with this great power of the British Empire as a simple man, dressed in a loincloth, without money, without title, without any formal power. But through who he was, he achieved enormous results. We can learn from Gandhi in terms of public relations and apply those teachings to our business or our organization or whatever it is that we do. We can learn from Gandhi in terms of sales, in terms of presenting and carrying forth the message very powerfully, using symbolism and arousing people's passion and their heart and their souls. We can learn from Gandhi in terms of developing great teamwork and having everyone contributing to the end goal. We can learn from Gandhi in terms of having a wonderful vision and working over decades to achieve that great vision. In Gandhi's case, his vision was not only the independence of India, but to help people to develop themselves so that they were independent in mind and spirit and soul, as well as politically independent. Whether you achieve all of your aims, all of your visions or not, work to the highest vision that you can achieve. And even if you only make it halfway, you'll probably have achieved far more than if you had aimed for a smaller vision. So if you really want to pay tribute to Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi on today, his birthday, read some of his writings. Read more about him. Learn from who he was, and as much as possible, become like him. You don't have to walk around in a loincloth. You don't have to fight for home rule. But become a person of integrity, a person of commitment, a person of character. And your life will then be an amazing one. And people will remember you as they remember Gandhi. Thank you.